green the ground below. April all an ocean away. Is this a better way to spend the day? Keeping the winter at bay. What were the words I meant to say before you left? When I could see your breath lead where you were going to. Maybe I should just let it be. Maybe it'll all come back to me. January on. How I lived a childhood in snow, and all my teens in tow, stuffed in a strata of clothes. Hail the winter days after dark, wander in the grey Memorial Park, a fleeting beating of hearts. What were the words I meant to say before you left? When I could see her breath lead where she was going to. Maybe I should just let it be. Maybe it'll all come back to me. Sing, oh, January. Oh, January on.
Welcome everybody to Woodwire and Watts. I'm Chris.
I'm Adam.
I'm Topher.
That's interesting. Oh, okay.
Like, well,
Uno?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, there it is.
They do work
awesome.
on, surprisingly, they do work on acoustics.
Interesting.
They work better on electrics because they play with the pickup of the guitar.
Right.
But
It's still vibrating.
it's still vibrating the string though, because it's still a magnet. Either way, one of them's the harmonic mode and one of them's like the regular magnetic mode. You have to hold it right against like right over the string.
They're
and
really not that convenient to play.
No, I'm
they're
sure
super
they're
cool,
not.
but like
I've never tried one on a 12 string. It feels like that would be awkward. It's got these two little bars that like rest around the string.
Oh yeah, it doesn't like it.
Yeah.
All right. Today we're turning down the volume and talking about acoustic guitars. All right. So we got news and gear for this week. I know a few things.
Yeah.
Including our buddy Yoshi, who retired from Boss.
Oh yeah, I saw
That
that.
was a big
He's been there
He's
for
been there
40
longer than we've
years?
been alive.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, he's been longer than some of us have been alive. Yeah. But yeah, I think
we'll leave it at that.
40 years.
Something like that is it, I think. Yeah, that's crazy.
I didn't know he was
Yeah.
even old enough to be there. He doesn't look that old.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
They have. Man, the time that he's been there has had so many like huge pedals come out.
Do they know who's replacing him?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, cool.
he's irreplaceable.
Yeah, that's fair. I mostly know him from his Instagram account where he shares pictures of sake.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I that's the only thing.
That's all you
What do you got?
Let's see. What do I got? I'm building a Telecaster.
Ooh, anything you want to share about that, or is that
It's still in its initial stages, but it'll be I don't know. It'll be like semi traditional, but it's gonna have. I'm gonna put some kind of system. I haven't decided yet. It's gonna have a bender though.
Nice. Maybe that's a good opportunity when that's complete for a Telecaster episode.
I could deal with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Yeah. Cool.
I did wire up the electronics though so far, and so I've used mostly Mojo tone parts.
Ooh. Yeah.
And then I use like a new old stock paper and oil cap.
Okay.
So
I'm using a Mojo Tone wiring harness in mine too. Yeah, I got the solderless. Yeah. Huh.
mine was just like whatever stuff I had that I
Was sitting around.
repurposed and soldered together.
Fair enough.
All right. Nothing else.
Yeah.
I did redo my pedal board, and now it's weighs 100,000 pounds.
Yeah, you got the Pro.
It's the 32.
Oh my gosh.
32 by 16.
God.
I picked up the 10-minute amp kit, do it yourself kit.
Oh yeah.
And I have no experience with electronics and soldering and stuff.
How many
And
minutes did it take?
It was several hours. It does not work.
So
right
misleading.
now. I definitely need you guys to take a look and figure out and tell me why I'm stupid, because
I
I
heard
can't get it to work.
I heard that soldering is the exact same as welding. Would you be able to confirm that?
This is not the same. It is not the same. TIG welding, like it's closer to TIG welding, which I don't do.
Okay, fair enough.
With welding, I pull a trigger and it goes.
Yeah, all right.
Solder, I gotta finesse it.
I mean, it didn't look sloppy from looking at it.
And a lot
Like,
of those were Liam's. A lot of those are my 12-year-old sons.
He did okay.
He did good.
Like
A lot better than I did.
Usually first time
Those
soldering,
small
like
fingers.
I'll show you my first real solder job because it's the back of that Supro cab that I use, where I soldered a speaker. It just looks like giant globs of.
Does it? It works.
It does work.
Yeah, that's the important thing.
Takes a few times to get okay at
I'm
it.
not saying you should do this, but if you get impatient, and you shouldn't do this around if there's any chips on it, but you can go to Harbor Freight for $8 and buy a welding iron and do super quick solder joints with it.
Good to know.
Guess how I know.
I'm guessing you accidentally did this. I guess it was not intentional.
I didn't know any better at the time, but I'm real quick at soldering now because done. Yeah,
Nice.
I'm not a very patient person.
And then also, on top of that, on top of the amp thing, also what I've been doing is I'm learning all the December songs from their album "The King Is Dead" because I don't have anything better to do with my time apparently. So that's fun, and I am 6 songs deep into it, which there's 10 songs. On the album,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I'm almost there.
that's awesome.
I'm waiting for June Hymn. That's the one.
I think that's.
I think you're too off. From
I'm
it.
too off from
Yeah.
it. Yes.
Are you learning them in order?
Yes.
Nice.
Which I skipped the first one. That kind of frustrated me, but I went back. I did it. I covered it the other night, but yeah, I covered it out of order. That frustrates me.
That's
all
okay.
good. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna learn them in order and then hopefully put together a team of people to play with, and we'll play it out.
Nice.
'Cause I like the December. So it's super simple music, but like there's a lot of layers to it, so it sounds beautiful and it sounds more intricate than what it is. But it's easy to play, and the lyrics are just super weird, delightfully weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's always the Decemberists. Like
Yeah.
all their stuff is real out there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Huh.
beautiful songwriting. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. I had a small thing this week because
What'd you have?
I'm in the process of selling my DSM simplifier because instead of panic buying tubes, because I'm sure as everybody has heard, tubes are made in Russia, and that's a problem right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of panic buying tubes, I'm working on selling my simplifier, and I bought a Quilter Interblock 45 as a tiny little guitar head.
Yep.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. Like, it sounds good.
Yeah, I haven't decided if I'm gonna switch that because I've got the Quilter the UK,
Super block?
the Super Block, the UK one.
Sounds really
It sounds really good. I may switch the simplifier on my board for that. I don't know. I try not to use my tube amps unless I'm like doing something important to have those now because you get paranoid.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm not paranoid. I don't give a shit.
That Super Block he's talking about is actually a Vox AC clone. It's got
It's like this big,
yeah.
and it's a pedal board amp.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So you can either hook it up with XLR or you can hook it up straight to a cabinet.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
It gives you the Vox.
Tour
It
Vox.
gives you the normal Vox, the top boost, and then it also gives you a Marshall.
Yeah, that's right.
It gets the
And the
it's
Marshall
all
actually
British
sounds it sounds a lot better than the simplifier too.
Yeah, it breaks up just a little bit, and like put like a tube screamer or something like that in front of it. It'll get the real crunchy old school.
It's a Plexi
Yeah.
Marshall, yeah. Which I will go on record saying is the inferior Marshall. Bite me.
Because
JCM 800.
I have no opinion.
The Plexi's like the classic rock Marshall sound, like not the high gain like metal sound.
people think of Marshalls as being like heavy metal, hard, like super, aggressive, but like the really early ones were not.
Like think like ZZ Top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like they would break up
Hendrix.
if they break up if you want to go deaf, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So, on to our main topic. I think we're talking about acoustic guitars today.
Yes,
You want to start us with some history?
sure. I try to keep it brief because there's a lot.
There's only like 1,000 years, like no big.
So I thought it would be like, I mean, there's like a ton of different varieties of acoustic guitars, right? Like styles and things. But like if you break it down into like the huge picture, we can talk like nylon strings or steel, like classical
Like,
or.
And it's more than
everyone
just
else.
like acoustic guitar. Like there's more than what just acoustic
Oh yeah.
acoustic instruments in general is a broad thing.
I think we might have to. We like at some point maybe we do an episode and get a few other people to come in and bring folk instruments too and talk about a whole different world.
Yeah. So technically, like acoustic guitar would be like the first guitar, right? Like a guitar didn't start out as electric.
No,
so.
yeah. So yeah, the first guitars are the first. So here, let me. I'll do my spiel and then we can discuss.
Okay.
So you can find paintings of like instruments that you plucked strings,
Right.
going back to like 3000 BC.
Nice.
So like on you can paintings or drawings of it. The term guitar though that came into existence in like the 15th 16th century.
Okay.
So it is an old instrument. The majority of guitar historians believe that it was originated as an instrument called the vihuela. I think I said that correctly. But there is like before that though, it is very much like all kinds of people are like, no, it was this, because there are instruments that developed in all different kinds of countries that are fretted or tied on frets. They used to not actually have frets embedded in it.
Oh.
They were literally tied on. So,
Nice.
but there are instruments similar to a guitar that developed kind of everywhere. But the tuning and the kind of ways that they made them that really developed. So vihuela, that was Spain, Portugal, Italy, 15th, 16th century. 17th century, we have the Baroque guitar. They were only 5 courses of. We're gonna also show.
I can't think that fast today.
We're gonna show you a Baroque guitar in a little bit
I was gonna
too.
say,
Not a Baroque.
This is a joke. There's a joke here. I need to put it.
If it ain't Baroque.
The Baroque guitar.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna call you a liar. Oh no, wait.
Ah!
I was
This
gonna
is-
say I thought it came from a liar.
Get out.
Oh. Ain't no frets on a lyre.
We're
Really?
off the
What?
rails.
We're not music historians.
No, I did read a book called The Concise History of the Classical Guitar, though, when I was in school. It's actually, if anybody wants to read it, it's by an author named Graham Wade. If you want to know the real, like, nitty-gritty details on the history of like, at least from the classical guitar era, like, that's a great book.
The irony is we're not giving you a concise summary whatsoever.
We are not at all. I'm bad at this. But I will say the 19th century is really when you get the modern, like, guitar. Antonio de Torres. He is the one that kind of standardized like the body size and shape and scale length and the type of bracing, like everything that's in a modern classical guitar. Not that any of us are holding one of those right now, but if you like go from that and you want to move forward into like steel string history, because before that, guitars were not very big. Like if you've ever seen a parlor guitar,
They're
like,
very
they're like the little narrow small body.
Yeah, we call them 3/4 today.
Yeah. I mean that's kind of early guitars. They really were small. They were played in parlor guitar because people played them in parlors because they weren't loud enough to play like with other instruments. Steel string though really is a piece of American history. Farmers early on, at least this is tales, what you hear is like they would take fence wire and stuff like that and put them on their guitars because it would last longer. It was cheap and it was louder. And because back then they didn't have nylon strings. Strings were made out of gut.
Yeah.
When they say cat gut, it was literally gut, which is gross.
I thought it was actually like they call it cat gut. I thought it was cheap at some
Oh,
point.
maybe it is.
Yeah.
It's metal.
Like the cat gut is like the word for it, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's made out of the inside of of a dead animal. That's pretty gross.
That's metal.
So after people started doing that, the brand that made it was Martin. I mean, like that was they were one of the first brands to widely start offering steel string acoustics. Nice. So it's German heritage, but in the U.S.
Martin's German?
Are they really?
I think.
CF Martin, yeah.
Oh,
their actual like.
I could be wrong there. Somebody's gonna just be like, "You're an idiot."
Their factories in like Cleveland or Columbus, like their main.
Martin? No, they're in north west of here state.
Wisconsin?
No.
Minnesota?
Minnesota.
They're made in Nazareth, Pennsylvania.
Yes. Pennsylvania, the northwestern state to Indiana.
I did real good in geography.
All right.
I forgot where they were made for a minute. But Martin was the ones they were like the first ones to like really start using like modern X style bracing, which made the they could handle the tension and the of steel strings and then 1930s they brought out like the dreadnought shape, like the big body shape. Okay. And
so we're gonna talk about some different kinds of acoustics then, right?
Yeah.
What do you got over there? Just
so this is my baby here. This is my not the nicest guitar that I have probably. This is a Martin. This is a D16, which is more or less the same. I think this is basically like it's cheaper, but it's like a D28 with less appointments.
Okay.
So it's not quite as fancy.
D28's their flagship, right?
I don't know. They make all. Yeah, if you want to. I mean, for Dreadnought, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
D18, D28, either one of those. They're different but similar.
You have Martin too, don't you?
I do.
Yep.
What kind of?
This is the blue. This type of guitar is
very cheap.
Mine too.
Oh yeah.
Mine is the X Series Special.
Yeah, cool. That's still made in Pennsylvania one, right? Or is that
This one's made in Mexico.
made in Mexico? I think mine is too. I have the DRS 1, and mine looks pretty similar to yours. I think you got a little bit nicer one than I do. But I have the Alcoa top.
Yeah, I don't like Koa.
You don't like Koa?
I don't like it. I think...
Is that mahogany gray? What is that?
It's the...
Is that
Koa?
Is that Koa? That one?
Yeah. Do you have the laminate neck on yours too? Flip it around. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually like the laminate necks. Like people give the laminate.
I like
yeah, the laminate. They give it hell because it's technically plywood, but like mine feels really comfortable.
Yeah.
And like I like raw wood as opposed to gloss necks.
Yeah.
Like this one's glossy.
For sure. No, I don't like a gloss neck.
This is gloss. It's like a
semi-gloss.
Semi-gloss. I don't
Yeah.
know. It takes a while to wear them in to like be comfortable, I think.
Yeah, I'm still very close on my Les Paul to doing the not sandpaper but scratch pad.
Oh yeah, just
you
to
take a
rough
scratch
it up
pad,
a bit.
Yeah, just to make it a little nicer. Yeah.
Yeah. So Yeah. What do we want to talk about?
We can just talk about some different kinds we got.
Yeah. So that was, what is that cutaway? What size is that? Like a auditorium model body?
You know, I don't know anything.
I don't actually know what an auditorium body is.
It's just a shape, size.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's grand. It's either an auditorium or grand
It's a
auditorium.
guitar.
This is
strings.
like the most traditional guitar shape I think at this point in history. It's a dreadnought. I don't know. First one I ever had was a Alvarez, and it looked about the
Pretty
same.
similar. Yep. I tend to prefer full body
Yeah,
dreadnoughts.
that's a
too.
jumbo.
This
Yeah,
would be a
that's
jumbo.
jumbo.
It's got the cutaway. This is actually my dad's. This is a Takamine 12 string. Sounds really pretty.
Okay,
It's
so
very
question. The between the jumbo and the dreadnought.
Dreadnought.
So what's the difference between, like, is there gonna be a difference in sound? Obviously shape, yeah, but like,
I mean, I think that I know that these are considered like they make them this way, this size and shape for volume. These are this is the traditional bluegrass guitar, because they're just loud, and they're loud and they're semi-balanced. Some body shapes give you more bass or more.
I was gonna
tempo,
say,
I
would
think.
that bigger ass give you a?
Yeah, normally, so to my ear, and I don't know, maybe it's in my head. I know a lot of the cutaways to me have like a little bit of like a hollower sound. I think the jumbo body with the cutaway kind of compensates for that a bit.
Okay.
So yeah, like this is a lot bassier than a lot of the 12 strings I've played personally. So
Yeah, it does sound very bassy.
which is real.
It's
good
very
for-
full. I like it.
What else we got?
What
Grab a.
Switch some stuff.
about the silver tone?
Yeah, you can grab that.
That's pretty.
Everybody
This
should
is
have.
so pretty.
Everybody should have at least like one cheap pawn shop guitar,
For sure.
Yep.
and
I've got several. Everyone should have a guitar that they can, don't necessarily care about. It's just for noodling ideas and stuff. Just,
That's so I have my dad's original Washburn, which we talked about. He got from Music Around back before they had the car go through the window here in Fort Wayne. Yeah. That's the one that I've had as kind of like the beater guitar, and that's the one I end up playing the most at the end of the day. That's the acoustic that I play the most at the end of the day. Like, because at some point you don't really care about it, but at some point it's also like the most important because you got hands on it more than anything else.
yeah, because like you spend some time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I got this at actually at the Gearfest flea market tent, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It was like the close to the close of the second day, and I think I paid $20 or $25 for it in an original chipboard case, and the strings on it at the time were so rusted and corroded that I think that they had been on there for like 35, 40 years untouched. I was afraid I was going to get tetanus. I just kind of cut.
Is that a painted on pickguard?
It is.
That's adorable.
So yeah, you said the parlor guitar, right? Yeah.
So this is
Parlor size.
I would say, I mean, I don't know what this technically is, but it's parlor size guitar. It's small.
definitely, yeah.
It's very easy to play. I surprisingly got it for so cheap, and I think, and the weird thing is usually some of these old guitars like this, what happens is you start seeing the neck separate, and then like when you get up here, you're like, can't play it. It's a slide guitar only.
for sure.
But this one never had a neck reset, and the neck is still really good. And all I had to do is clean it and put on some new strings. If anybody ever gets like an old guitar like this, I recommend putting like these are silk and steel strings or something like that. They're very low tension comparatively, which means it's safer on the neck.
So you're not putting 12s on there, right?
No.
15s.
Yeah. The great thing about guitars like this too is, and this is subjectively using the word great, they don't have a lot of overtones because the whole guitar is basically just laminate, and so not great for just sitting there and having this beautiful acoustic sound. Great for recording it in a mix with a band with a bunch of stuff, because it's just a very straight tone, and there's not just all this stuff going on.
You don't have to cut out some weird EQ.
Like the Martin sounds great, but it has tons of harmonics and like it's everywhere. So
I remember you let me borrow that one to play a gig, and it was definitely had a low frequency that was cutting through. It was tough to work with.
I don't know. Yeah. So do you want to show them your
Let's do this.
budget pawn shop guitar?
So if you don't maintain your guitar, you'll have this cereal bowl you can.
I think if you try and eat cereal out of that, you might die.
You hear that? That's one of the bracings.
You know what my favorite flavor of cereal is?
What?
Tetanus.
I got this guitar for $10. I made a road trip from Fort Wayne to Ashley to get it, and I found it. Some lady in a trailer park was selling it. I was like, I gotta have it.
All of this lines up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is what you want there.
But if you're playing out here, it doesn't sound bad.
I cannot believe that guitar actually holds the string tension and actually tunes up.
It actually sounds as good as it does. Yeah.
Normally in that shape, it would be just rattling and buzzing and just horrible, but it actually plays.
It's just like it's bowed in so many different ways. And like the bridge bends down here. Oh, not the bridge. The neck. The fretboard bends down here.
This is the cowboy campfire guitar that fell off the horse and then got kicked by it.
So what this guitar is, it has been in trunks. It has been in. It stays in my office, and I work in a fab shop where like there's no heating. It's very cold and it's very humid. It's not the ideal condition to leave a guitar in unless you don't care about it, which is why this exists. I don't care about it.
You know, we should maybe talk about that after we finish talking about the guitars, is how to take care of your guitars.
Yeah, because
classical guitar, acoustic guitar
Guild.
maintenance.
I think
Guild.
Is that a Guild?
No, maybe.
I don't know.
This is a G.
Looks like a Guild logo to me. Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know anything about Guild.
I don't know if they ever made that style of guitar, but it could be.
I was trying to see what the.
Oh, Global.
Oh, that makes more sense.
We just look inside.
Yeah.
Things inside.
Global.
Mm-hmm.
Global Music Instrument Company. It's cute. It's not good.
The Global Music Instrument Company was a distributor of musical instruments made in the Far East, according to the guitar labels they manufactured.
So like New Jersey?
Yeesh.
Oh, farther.
Yeah, I think a little bit further than that.
Okay. I don't know where this was made, but it was made in the U.S.
Was it really?
Yeah. Back like in the 40s, 50s, 60s, like even terrible like acoustic.
What brand is that?
It's a Silvertone.
Oh, Silvertone. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. This would have been sold in the finest Sears
catalog.
Yeah, Sears catalog, Sears and Roebuck. Back in the day.
Those are getting collectible now, though.
Yeah. I always wanted one of those electric ones with the amp in the case.
Yes.
They don't sound, the amp doesn't sound good, but it's just it's like a silly.
I'll have to get pictures of the Silvertone I had. It's up on Mike Grendel's wall right now because it's cracked so bad, and we could barely get it to hold like together.
Oh my!
So now I got it looking pretty, so it looks nice, and now it's just a wall hanger. Yeah, it has strings on it with no tension.
Sometimes that's what guitars turn into.
The pickups are entirely micro.
Can you help with this and explain this to me? Why? I've seen other guitars where they're like, there's the space that's not right.
Is
it just because it's a shitty guitar, or is there
no? That's actually normal.
Where like there's
my Martin has the same spacing.
Yeah, that's not uncommon.
Why?
It's 5,
12's
7,
here.
5, 7, 10, and 12.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, okay, that's a little weird.
Yeah, that's not the right spacing.
It's just that dot. Like that, it could go either direction.
Yeah, they usually put it at the 10th.
Yeah, that's 12.
Yeah, that's
So-
where it should be.
I guess it is. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
it is usually at the 9th, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
usually
the
9 and then 12.
Yeah, 5, 7, 9, 12. Yeah, you're right.
It's probably just because they're high.
Could
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Huh.
I know this is a tangent. I really like unmarked fretboards.
Yeah.
Like ones with no
Nothing on 'em?
Yeah. I don't know. I think that looks slick.
Well, then,
I mean, aesthetically, yeah.
But
for
yeah,
me-
it's a pain in the ass. Like, is this 8? Oh,
I mean, well, if we're gonna go the unmarked fretboard, just get rid of the frets, and then that's just a beautiful just
Yeah,
plank
there
of
you go.
wood. Yeah,
for my upright guitar.
they do make fretless
Oh,
guitars.
I know. I've seen them. Yeah.
I don't think I could play one.
I was not able to play it the
Like-
one time I played it.
I feel like
But I
for
saw
melodic stuff it'd be cool, but I feel like chords would just be really hard.
So I'm gonna give you guys a throwback, and I think you might have been still living out of town at the time. B Sharp Guitars over off Coventry used to have their. It was Gibson days. That's what it was, because you could take your guitar there and get them restrung and everything. But every year they also displayed it must have been a Gibson. I'm guessing they called it the Dragonfly.
Okay.
And it was like this fretless guitar, fretless 6-string that had emerald and pearl dragonfly all down the neck.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was gorgeous, and they let you play it. Yeah,
Let's look that up.
it's probably back then was $6,000
Yeah.
if I had to guess. Now I couldn't imagine. One of a kind probably.
Those fancy guitars.
Yeah.
So, you want to look at another one?
Yeah, let's figure out what's next.
This is the classical?
That is my weird classical.
It is weird.
Beautiful. I used to have a really nice Yari classical when I was in school studying, and then I had to sell it. But I did get a newer classical a while ago. I don't really know, honestly, this story. I'm not going to tell a story about it because I don't.
Yeah.
I think this is the only. I think this is the only one of these in existence.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And it's just some weird hack job. But it's a 7-string classical. But yeah.
That's extra low then, right?
At a B string.
That's awesome.
It's for when he's playing gent classical.
Nice. Let me see you get low.
I think that's a different genre.
All the way to the flow.
The interesting thing about classical guitars, properly for doing vibrato.
You don't vibrato up, back and forth. It's up and down
It's
because you don't want to ruin the frets. Or actually, it came from.
instead of this, it's
As far as I know, that came from unfretted instruments that cannot, if they do it up and down like a modern guitar player, it messes up the fretboard, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do Jurassic Park.
What?
Do Jurassic Park.
I don't know how to play Jurassic Park.
You were almost doing it.
You were very
You were
close.
so close.
Another interesting thing about classical guitars, they don't usually have truss rods.
Huh.
No truss rod.
Interesting.
It's because
Is it less-
because the tension of nylon strings is so much less that you don't have to worry that you're gonna have to adjust the neck over time.
Interesting. Yeah. Do they still have I know some have a steel rod that you can't adjust. Is that still a thing or
Like this one?
So a steel rod that you can adjust would be a truss
cannot
rod.
adjust?
Oh,
Cannot adjust. Sorry.
It's like I think you're just describing a truss rod.
Cannot adjust steel rod.
Yeah.
That's the bracing.
That has one.
What do they call it? Bracing rod, or is there a word for it?
I think it's just a steel rod.
reinforced.
Steel reinforced rod.
Okay. Huh.
My the old Silvertone and his old one both have those. Yeah, that was normal back then. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to assume that there is one in a classical neck, but I don't actually know.
All right, get your screwdriver out. We'll tear it apart and find out.
That seems like a good plan.
We'll put it back together. I got some homers.
Let's go grab
the
grab your saw. We'll just like saw it in half. We'll figure out what's in there.
Figure out the. This is the guitar that I probably play the most.
This is honestly my favorite one of yours.
I play this more than I play my Martin.
Yeah.
And it's honestly just because I like Arch. I bought this guitar because it was the only Archtop I could afford.
Understand.
Only Archtop Acoustic.
This has got more mojo.
They do. They have the thing with Archtops too is they just have a ton of mid range. They just project. They just project and cut. Like,
I hate this.
It's very hard to get used to.
That is wide.
Oh yeah, you gotta hold it like a classical guitar.
Because even a classical guitar has a wider neck, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Classical guitar always has a wider neck and wider spacing. That's an extra one.
This sucks. It's cool. Sorry to deviate back to what we're. But like,
put your thumb on the back. Right?
Yeah, that's why you keep your thumb around the. That's why like classical guitar, like you have to do that. I remember when I was first studying, like, and I don't always do that now for other guitar stuff, but like it was like everybody who plays guitar studies classical, 90% of us come from playing rock and roll and stuff. So like you get in school and you're like, oh, my thumb's creeping over, and it's like you get that death stare from the team. Like, don't you put your thumb on? Don't let your thumb go over the neck.
So a couple of the guys that in high school that I played with, they did a lot of the real shreddy stuff, and they wouldn't like they were taught not to even put their thumb on the back.
Yeah.
So they were taught to do this.
Really?
Yeah. So when they were playing, and I'm not talking for playing classical, I'm like they were playing like Children of Bodom and stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like, because they expected they didn't want to put any pressure down because that would reduce speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. Like also like I don't know, when you're first playing from it, like I don't do it now, but like I think like early on it can be very easy to get into that habit of like gripping too hard.
Yeah. I have that problem. Like if I get nervous, I death grip.
And that definitely reduces like movement.
Yes.
Like, so I could see why they would say that.
I believe when I first started playing guitar, Steve from Paper Heart, he had told me that he was told to act like you had an egg in your.
I'd heard that one too.
Yeah, because it's that like you can't grip too tight or you break it. Yeah. I get it.
Like so when you're doing classical technique, isn't it like your wrist is a little more over the fingerboard too?
That's the reason you see people like why I'd have to dig it out. I have one somewhere, but a footstool.
Oh yeah.
You put your left foot up.
Yeah.
And because you hold the guitar like this.
My one classical riff.
Blackbird singing in the
distance. Yeah.
So there's no radius to this neck, is there?
No, they're flat.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't radius.
That was another thing that was like weird to me. I was like, whoa.
Traditionally, classical guitar necks are not radius.
Okay. See, little things are different. It's just weird.
Oh, play Ibanez, like they're the same. Like they're pretty like. They're slightly radiused, but like you're not gonna notice it.
I want a radius.
See, I like the flat necks because I can do goofy shit on it.
I like it. I like the spacing and the necks for classical for playing fingerstyle. Because I got used to it.
All right, back to this.
Oh yeah, so,
let's get back to what we're supposed to.
So now
do.
we're on the Archtop now. So this is like a modern recreation. It's an Epiphone Zenith. It's like their master built series. It's about the only I think this is probably about the only affordable acoustic Archtop you can
What
get.
do they run for us mortals?
I feel like I don't want to misquote you, but I feel like this is like maybe like a $700 or $800 guitar.
Okay.
Which isn't cheap, but like a nice acoustic Archtop is crazy expensive. Like
yeah. They're normally like multi-$1,000. Yeah. Epiphone the Archtop. Oh, I guess it'd be Archtop Acoustic, right?
If you look up Zenith. Oh, that's the big one. I think.
Okay.
That's the. They have 3 sizes. This is the middle size one.
everything's going up in price right now, so this is going to be stupid price.
If you find, they also used to make Epiphones back in the 40s and stuff that were called the same model names.
Yeah.
And if you see those, that will be crazy. Really, that will be just very expensive.
I did also hear that Gretsch has a new lower line, Archtop line right now.
Really?
For a better price.
like electric.
No, like yours.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, theirs are definitely more traditional jazzy one.
So these have been about $4.99 when they came out.
Oh, were they? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So not that much.
No, okay.
The cool thing is they come with the pickguard not on. It actually, if you want to have a pickguard, you can have it, and if you don't have to.
Huh.
Mine's really modified, so that's.
So can we talk about the bridge system on this thing? 'Cause what the heck is that?
This is like a trapeze floating bridge. Mm-hmm. So this was traditional on Archtops, basically this little trapeze. They called them a trapeze because of the shape. Like circus trapeze. So, so that they would do that, and then this is to help the strings float off of the body more.
And do you adjust it back there? You can adjust it back on
The
this
height.
part.
You adjust the height with these two wheels.
What about back? There's little knobs there.
That's just holding it together.
So don't touch those.
Yeah, those you don't touch. Yeah.
Okay.
So this isn't if you look at my Les Paul, that's not a whole lot different.
Yeah.
Okay.
This, because really Les Paul is the same. But instead of it going all the way back here, it's just like this. So it's the same functionality. It's just where it mounts. Instead of on a Les Paul, it'll mount here. And this one mounts down here.
That's cool.
That's the only difference, yeah. But the real magic is all happening up here.
Okay.
This is just keeping tension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one nice thing about Archtop ones like this too is that normally on an acoustic guitar you can't adjust the bridge height.
Yeah.
Without sanding the actual
bridge
down the saddle. But this is just turn it to adjust the height up or down.
Like that.
That's cool.
So that part's helpful. I like Archtops because I'm a big fan of Django Reinhardt and some of the old 40s acoustic jazz like that, and they just had a lot of that real punchy that. That kind of
you got too many fingers to play Django Reinhardt. Yeah. Can do it all with 1 and 2, remember?
Yeah. But yeah, I just like that. It has a very mid-range punch.
Yeah.
It's not a very bassy guitar at all. It's not it doesn't really fill the room with that. It's good when you're trying to keep a band together with rhythmic stuff.
When you put it through your amp or through the PA system, can't tell anyway. It sounds full. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
No.
That's still my favorite guitar of yours.
I love this guitar.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
It was terrible plugged in at first, I will say. If anybody wants to buy one of these, the pickup, they put a piezo in this. Mm-hmm. It tends to cut in and out and not work very well. I had a couple of these before I got this one. It took a while to get one that had a good pickup, and it still failed, so I just gutted it. So that's not connected anymore at all. It's got different pickups.
Electronics on acoustics are always that way for me. That Martin I have, I gutted it too because I did not like how that sounded. Yeah. Cool.
This one, man. Have you ever seen a guitar with such high action? Can't fret this thing at all.
Not with that attitude.
Not radius.
You gotta build your
radius is just terrible.
Build your strength. Yeah.
When people talk about a chunky neck, that is a chunky neck.
Oh man.
I used to. This is the only Resonator I own at this point. I used to have a really cool Washburn small bodied one that played like a normal Resonator, but I don't have it anymore. So now I only have this thing.
So for those that don't know a lot about or barely know what a Resonator is, tell us what is this in detail? This is for slide, right?
I mean this one is only for slide. This is what's considered like a dobro style, which is or a lap style guitar. That you play with a big chunk of steel. Basically, it's a steel bar. And finger picks if you're good at that. I've still not gotten used to those.
Yeah, I understand.
They made them in both styles. They made round neck normal acoustics and these with this kind of system in it. There's a bunch of different versions. This is a really this is a budget one. I think this is just a single cone. They make tricone ones where there's more than one in there, and the idea was that it makes the guitar louder, because this is basically a speaker that functions but not like electronically.
Right.
It's an acoustic functioning speaker. Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it.
And I'm also not good at it.
Well,
What's that tune?
The standard, right?
It's open G.
Oh yeah.
So the standard tuning on these lap ones are traditionally GBD GBD.
So open G, yeah. Huh.
It's just octaves.
Nice.
There's a lot of different tunings. I mean, some people tune to an open E. There's a few other ones. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I still haven't mastered just the one tuning, so
Sounds really cool.
Man, I love that. Yeah.
I gotta figure out the rest of that. I'm pretty sure he didn't play that on dobro.
Cool.
Is that it? I think that's all. I think that's all I got. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So what we should talk about, like
How to take care of your let's talk about
seems like a good thing to mention.
Yeah. So you're probably the expert here because I don't know about you, Topher, but I'm not the best at maintaining.
We don't talk to me about maintaining instruments.
I have, like, after many years of having to take guitars into techs to get stuff done to them frequently, like from gigging and stuff, and being like, I should really learn to make these guitars not play like crap. So the biggest thing, like, people should know about guitar care specifically for acoustics.
And don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. But there was one thing you can do, which is so passive and so easy. In the winter, just leave them in their cases. That's literally, like, when you're not playing, leave it in its case, because it's way more protected from, like, the temperature changes. And then if you want to go that extra mile, put a humidifier in the case. Yeah. Like, you can get the super, like, low tech one, which is it just slips between the strings, just sticks there, and it has a sponge in it. You basically just soak the sponge in water, wring it out until there's nothing coming out of it, and then so it's just barely damp, and then it goes inside the little thing, and then it just adds the humidity from it goes into the guitar as needed. Or you can be lazy like me, because, like, you have to those you have to, like, every few days you have to re-wet them. There's a few brands that make, like, these humidipacks.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
They feel like they're filled with gel. They're just paper bags, like, filled with gel, but you stick it in, like, a little envelope, leave it in the case with it, and if you keep them in there regularly, they last about 3 or 4 months.
Oh, it's not bad.
So you change it a few times a year, and then it stays at exactly, like, 49% or something like that humidity. So your guitar won't get, like, because what happens is, like, it gets too dry, and then we see what happens when it gets too dry. Yeah. The top caves in, and it gets too wet.
Does that happen with laminate? Do you know?
It can.
Can it? Okay.
I mean, it's not, like, it's definitely not as common. I mean, solid wood guitars are, yeah.
Because I noticed, like, my Martin is less.
It happens with laminate.
Oh yeah.
I mean, granted, that was like, what'd you say? It was kept in, like, car trunks and stuff.
Yep, car trunks. Just all sorts of bad places. Basements.
Yeah.
Basements. Yeah, basements are dangerous for your instruments.
And don't leave them by air conditioning vents.
Yeah. or next to the heating vents and all that. Yeah. Yeah. Just, you want to control the temperature and the humidity on your guitar. Those are the two, like, friends or enemies, depending on how you treat them.
Does yours you're saying yours bowed too a little bit on the back of your?
On my Martin, I was the reason I asked that about laminate is because I have had to do very little with that, and I also mistakenly left my guitar rack next to an air conditioning vent. Yeah, and it doesn't move all that much.
I've got a little spot that's I'm not happy with.
Yeah, they definitely can take, like, a laminate guitar can take way more abuse.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking, like, I'm thinking about getting a carbon fiber one at some point when they come down.
That'll
in price.
take lots of it.
That's exactly what
literally
I want it for.
humidity does not affect it.
That way I have a Telecaster and a carbon fiber acoustic. Yeah, I don't have to worry about maintenance ever. All right. So I think we're coming up on it.
I think we are. Yeah. You guys. Oh, I did have. Do you guys? Do you guys have like a dream like acoustic? I thought that would be a fun question.
Here's the thing. Like I play a lot. I have always played a lot more acoustic than electric. And like only like the past couple years have I really gotten into like I'm an electric player, and I still like an acoustic's acoustic. You know, like either it's nice or it isn't for me. So I don't know. Yeah,
I still like
acoustic people are not gear people usually.
Either a nicer Martin than I have, or I think I'd like to own another Seagull. I like Seagull a lot, man.
Seagull makes and their guitars are like comparatively not that expensive compared to like buying a nice Martin or a nice Gibson.
Absolutely,
but they make really nice like solid guitars.
They're really great sounding guitars and aesthetically pleasing. They look good.
They're mostly most if not all of them are made up in Canada.
Yep. I like that pointed headstock too. And
I was like Taylor. Taylor's good.
Too.
I know usually people are like Martin or Taylor, but like I don't know. I really like every Taylor that I've played pretty much.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't have I had a Taylor. I had a GS Mini that I don't have anymore, but I traded it for something I don't remember. It was a really nice couch guitar because it was small bodied.
Yeah.
I do like Taylor's, but I definitely like Martin's better.
That's fair.
Just for like Taylor's always sound good. Like every single one. Like if you go and get a 214, you're like they sound good, but everyone sounds exactly the same because they are machined so carefully. But if I had like a dream acoustic, I don't know. Like I would love to have like a really like a nicely kept 1950s like either a Gibson Hummingbird or a Gibson J200.
So I pulled.
They're both so fancy looking.
The last time I pulled a Hummingbird off the wall at a guitar store, at our local guitar store, I played it for a few minutes, and I went, like this. I was just like very unimpressed with it. Like not even for like.
Was it a Gibson?
Yeah, Gibson Hummingbird. Yeah, like it was nice. Don't get me wrong. Like everything about it was nice, but I was just like nothing about this is like inspiring. I don't know. Not compared to what I've picked up for Martin and Taylor.
Yeah, I think when we're talking about like newer acoustic guitars, Martin, I think, and Taylor both like are always going to win the prize. Like if you comparatively, I don't. Not to say anything bad, but like I don't think the Gibson acoustics that were made in more recent years are the same as what they were.
I have also heard that like it's like wine, you got to wait for them to age first before they get to be any good. So I don't know how true that is, but that's
interesting. Part
of the lore, I guess.
I can see that.
I think that's solid wood changes over like as the wood like the pores open up. And
there might be something to be said though that like I mean it's what they've done for like they don't have electric guitars. All their focus is on acoustics. When a company is hyper focused on something, you know,
it gets to be really good.
Yeah. When now Martin did at one point try to make electric guitars.
So did Taylor.
We're not going to talk about that.
Taylor did too. I think actually do they still make their electric ones?
I don't know. I know
that's more recent.
We
Martin
saw
tried
Taylor
to make them back in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah, we saw one of those Taylors down at the guitar show. Yeah.
In all honesty, they were pretty nice guitars, but they
wrong market.
Yeah.
I was trying to think like what's the nicest acoustic I've ever played. What's the nicest acoustic you guys have ever played? Like,
First Act.
Yeah. Mine would be the Fender Telecaster. No, wait, Acoustasonic.
The nicest one I've ever played. It's my uncle's, and it's a Martin, but I don't remember what kind. But it's a Martin.
What about you?
Nicest acoustics I've ever played. the few times I've gone up to elderly instruments,
Oh, nice.
like, and been like, can I try that pre-war Martin? Like,
Yeah, fair enough.
like, thank you. Like, if I touch it the wrong way, that's gonna be bad. You're like, thanks. This is like a $45,000 guitar.
That's every time I go up, I sneak upstairs to play your instruments. I'm like, these are very nice, and I should not touch them. I break things.
All right, guys, remember, if you enjoyed the show, hit like and subscribe on YouTube or whatever platform you're checking out the show on. You can also support us through Patreon or by picking up some merch through our Teespring store. Links to everything will be down in the show notes. Do you have anything, guys?
Just thanks for watching, and we really appreciate all the support we've had. Like, there's been a lot of people, tuning in and checking this out. So
Yeah, thank you guys. The reason we're doing this is, we're enjoying it and having fun, but like we appreciate you guys tuning in and getting something out of it.
Yeah, it is nice to hear that we're not just screaming into a void sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for joining us on Woodwire and Watts. Until next time, tune up.
Crank the volume.